This is slippery slopes, lesson 3, so lesson 3, M2-43. So we will be using similar triangles to show the slope. So really we're just talking about slope, and we're going to continue writing equations. Now what you're going to notice is different is instead of it just being, we call this quadrant 1, instead of being quadrant 1, we're going to use all 4 quadrants. Okay, so, and again, I'm going to ignore all of the extra stuff that they have going on, and I'm just going to look at this graph right here. So, we're going to write our equation. Remember, your equation is y equals mx plus b. Same equation. This is the notes page that I have. So notice we have slope, describes the direction and steepness. We use the m. Y-intercept, or initial value, is where it crosses the y-axis. And then, so on this page I went ahead and wrote the equation, and I'm going to highlight that. So remember, the b is initial value, or y-intercept, and then the m is our slope, and we use m, and we set it up as rise over run, or change of y over change of x. So don't forget those few things. I'm going to go ahead and write that here. So that is slope, or rate of change. Okay, so now let's look at these graphs right here. And my purple, or my pink, the point on my marker is really low. So I like starting with the starting value. So I'm going to find my b first. So let me find my blue. So the b is where we started. So in this case, it's where it's crossing the y-axis, and I'm going to erase this line in just a second, but it's where it's crossing the y-axis. So notice it crosses the y-axis at 0. A trick that I like to do for myself, and you might like as well, is if you think about the letter B, it's where it's crossing the y-axis. So think about the letter B, and it's where it crosses the y-axis, and this is the y-axis. Okay, so let's see. So this one crosses at 0, so our b equals 0. And then our m is our slope. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit more so that you can see this. So you're going to go from one point to another point. This first question down here is important. Is this a positive or a negative slope? So think about your little slope dude. If he starts here, if this is his starting point and he moves this direction, he always moves to the right. Is he going up or is he going down? So he's going up, so it's positive. He would have to be going up the hill. It's going puff, puff, positive. Okay, so that's our slope dude. I'm going to erase that arrow because it's pretty big. So I'm going to go from this point to this point just because I've already marked up over here. Okay, so if you look, that's 1, 2, 3. So B starts at 3 and it goes up 1, 2, 3 units. And then it starts at 2 and goes to 4. So that's going over 2 units. So that would be 3 over 2 is our m. It's positive, so notice both of the numbers are positive. I'm going to actually look from A to D because I'm going to show you something. So if I want to go, D's over here and A is down here, I'm going to show you that it actually doesn't matter what points you do. There's just one thing that you have to remember. So we're down here at -3. So -3, -2, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it went up 12 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 12 over 8. So hopefully you remember how to reduce fractions. So if you think about 12 and 8, what number goes into both of those? Well, 2 goes into both of them. So let's see if that reduces it enough. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, well, that's still not quite the same as that smallest triangle that we could draw. So let's keep going. So if we look at that, 6 and 4 are also divisible by 2, so we could actually go one more time. 6 divided by 2 is 3, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 3/2, notice, is the same as this one. So each time you could actually go up 1, 2, 3 over 2, and that would get us to that point. 1, 2, 3 over 2 would get us to point B. 1, 2, 3 over 2 gets us to that point. 1, 2, 3 over 2. So you can see you can actually do it a few times going up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2. So this is actually going to be your slope. So it's very important that you write over here on this to reduce. So make sure you reduce your slope. So you always have to reduce your rise over run. Okay, so we're still not done writing our equation because I've said some extra things in this example. So we have y equals 3/2 x plus our starting position was 0. Now remember, we don't actually have to put a plus 0 because adding 0 to anything stays the same. So you could actually simplify this one so that it's just y equals 3/2 x, because the plus 0 doesn't change anything. You don't have to add anything on. Alright, and we're going to skip over a few pages. So now I'm on page M2, where's it at? M248. And that's this one right here. Okay, again, we're going to write our equation. So y equals mx plus b. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see that. So I always like to see where it crosses. So think about your y-axis, and it is crossing right there. So -4, so that's 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. So that's actually -5. So our b is going to be -5. And then now let's find the slope. So I'm going to zoom in. So this is where it starts getting a little bit more complicated because you have to actually look for those points where it crosses. Like if we were trying to say, like this point right here, that's not in the middle of those grids. So you always want to look for the middle of the grid. So we have one there. Notice it crosses perfectly there, 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 there. And remember, it doesn't matter which points on that line you pick. Let's do this one first. So if I go from this point, which is that 1, and then I go to this point, so it's actually going up 2 and over 1. Sorry, you can probably hear my sons in the background playing. So it's going up 2 over 1. Okay, let's do another one. Let's pick this point way up here. No, let's do this next one actually. So that one's 5, 7, so it's going up 2 over 1. So again, it doesn't matter where on your line you pick to do your slope, your triangles are going to look the same. Or if you did one big one, it would reduce to the same thing. So let's see, negative, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we said all of them were 2 over 1. Alright, gotta zoom out again. So 2 over 1 is our m. But if you have 18 over 9, well, what number goes into both of those? Well, 9 goes into both of them. So 18 divided by 9, 9 divided by 9 is 1, 18 divided by 9 is 2, which, notice, is the same thing. So remember to always reduce. So our equation would be y equals 2x minus 5. And that would be our equation. Again, we should have answered this. Is it positive or negative? Are they going up and over, or are they going down and over? So it's going up. Think about your slope, dude. He would start right here, and then he'd go up and over. So it would be also a positive. Okay, let's go to the next one. It's on this page over here. All right, find your starting value. Actually, I'm gonna do this one. So this one starts at 0. So your b equals 0. Your slope, or your m, let's find that. So again, mark your points where it crosses. Okay, now draw your little slope dude. If you draw him starting at the starting position and then he goes to the right, notice he's going to be going down really fast. So we know it's a negative slope. Or if you count, in this case it goes from -2, -3 to -4, so that's down 2, and then it's over 1. Check it on another one, that's down 2 over 1, -2 over 1. That does not reduce. 2 divided by, well, I guess it does actually. 2 divided by 1 would be -2, and I should have written that over here, or I should have said that. I wrote it. What's 2 divided by 1? If I have $2 and give it to one person, that person gets $2. So I did reduce it. Sorry, I'm bumping my computer and everything else. So -2. So then it would be y equals -2x. Again, plus 0. Do we have to write the plus 0? No. So that would be the equation. Okay, last one. So y equals, start at your starting value. So b equals 6. That's where it crosses the y-intercept, or that's where it crosses the y-axis. So that's our y-intercept. So don't forget that y-intercept. It's where it crosses the y-axis. And then let's find our slope. So look along here for where it crosses. So it crosses right there. Doesn't cross. So like you would have to estimate right there. So that's why I don't mark that point. I go until it crosses. So there and there, there and there, there and there. Okay. Our slope, is it positive or is it negative? Well, it's going up. So he would, if we're drawing him, he would have to go up if we move to the right. So it's puff, puff, positive, if you remember slope do. Okay, so now let's look at this one. So I'm going to go from here to there. So notice from this point to this point, remember you always rise over run, so I'm going up 1 and I'm going over 1, 2. So our slope would be 1/2. Okay, I'm going to pick a larger point, and I'm going to use green just so that you can see. So I'm going to go to that last point there. So that's going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 over 10. Let's reduce it. What goes into both of those? Well, 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5, 10 into 5, or 5 goes into 10 2 times. So remember that's 1/2. That's not the actual answer. We're writing the equation. So it'd be y equals 1/2 x, wrote the wrong color, x plus 6. So remember, your y-intercept is the last part of the equation. Your slope is the part that goes with x. It's mx, or slope x, plus the b, which is the y-intercept. Okay, so on your assignment, you're actually going to do these two right here the same way we just did. You're going to find the slope, you're going to find the y-intercept, you're going to write the equation. Let me know if you need help.